All right, friends. Hopefully this works. All right, friends. Oh, it is working. Hopefully this works. Okay. I heard myself. I'm still getting used to this. That's muted. Let me just see. All right, cool. Okay. Can you hear me all right? Are you? It's okay. I'm live. It's fine. Yeah, it's streaming. All right, how is everyone doing? um, I know we've been talking about this for a long time. Karen Reed case. I just wanted to get on here and spitball a little bit. Obviously we all know that the week is, I almost called it a bye week. There's no trial the rest of the week. Well, it's almost the end of the week. So it starts up again Monday or Tuesday. But I want to talk about Somerset for a minute. What transpired today is pretty funny. Someone shared with me, I guess someone else, I don't even know who it was, but one of their friends, and it's irrelevant who it was, it doesn't matter. One of their friends posted something that they were at the Emerald Square Mall last week, and it was completely empty. And they sent it to me because they thought it was funny. And so I shared it and made a joke and said, Alan, come get your failing mall. I mean, we all know the Emerald Square Mall is going down, and that's all Alan used to talk about, still talks about, is how he manages malls. So I thought it was just a funny meme. It wasn't even a meme. It was just someone else's post. And he lost his mind. I thought it was funny. But he lost his mind, which I also think is funny, because I don't know why he cares so much about what I think. I think that's very telling. He just beat me in an election, which good for him. But you know what? It's my turn. It's my turn to sit on the other side of the fence. And I just think, in my opinion, there's foreshadowing with the closing of all of these malls. That's all Alan talks about, is how great he is at managing malls. That's what he campaigns on. And it doesn't even matter. It was just a funny post, and he lost his mind, saying I'm not over the election. Like, I'm over the election. It's fine. I am very happy now to be sitting on the other side looking in. It's about time. And, now that I ran, I'm re-engaged with the community in various ways, and I'm really excited about that. And I have more planned, and if you run for a selectman, I hate it when people say, you signed up for it. Like, I'm not here bullying anyone. I'm not attacking them and their family. I'm just giving them a hard time. And just like everybody else. And just like I was beat down for a decade, a little less than a decade. But you're in the hot seat now, sir. So, you made a lot of promises to people that are just total lies. Some were lies, some were half-truths sprinkled in there. But we won't be getting the $1,100 that you promised. I know that was funny. But people ate that up. But I'm just sitting back and watching. I just thought it was funny that he cared so much about what I think. Which will make a very interesting 3 years. I'm going to have fun. I have a lot planned, and it's all about Somerset. It's about helping Somerset. It's about making it a better place. It's about not pandering to bad people. It's about doing the right thing, which is hard for Alan to do sometimes because he's pandering to this one group of people. He says residents first, but he means only the residents that he's friends with, and that he has an agenda. When you run for office, people say, oh, it's good when you don't have an agenda. He has an agenda. So, and it's obvious. I mean, He doesn't hide it. So he thinks he hides it, but he doesn't. Anyway, I just had to say that. I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole. And hopefully you guys can hear this. I just cannot tell if this is streaming well. Let me look one more time. Okay, it works. This is so strange. All right, so anyway, that happened today. And today I had a good conversation with someone about podcasting. A really good friend of mine in Los Angeles is a huge podcaster. She's incredible, and I'm not putting her name out there because my haters will go attack her. She has nothing to do with politics. She's an amazing person. I met her through Tony Hsieh. She's incredible. She's a huge podcaster. Anyway, she was doing it before anyone knew how to do it. She was doing it before it was a thing. And she, a few years back, had a class. She started teaching a course. And I'm like, I'm going to take your first course. The first course she's ever given. And she taught a handful of us how to, and it was a paid course, and how to podcast and what equipment you need. And it was a several week course. And she did an incredible job, and I learned so much from her. And so since then, I think that was like 4 years ago. It was a long time ago. I think it was right before COVID. And so over the past 4 years, which I can't believe it's been 4 years, but so much has transpired that has put off launching this podcast of mine, getting the right equipment. I had all the right equipment right away, but getting the trailer nailed down and, it was actually a lot of work. And, other people's schedules didn't line up, so that took time. Then COVID happened. It was just, and then my back, like so many different things have transpired. But here we are, and I'm so excited. And I finally, I'm able to do it. And the great thing is that years ago, I bought all this equipment, preparing myself. And so now I have everything. I have more than what I need. I can be versatile. I can be mobile. I can be stationary. Like here I have my little at-home studio, which is kind of makeshift. But I have all the great equipment, and I'm really, really excited about it. So she, she was podcasting. She still is. She has quite a following. And several of my friends out in Silicon Valley and in that whole ecosystem of people across the country, the Silicon Valley types, entrepreneurs and founders of different startups and stuff like that, they have podcasts. Some of them have millions of followers. They're incredible. And these are people that I've seen grow their following over the years, and it's great. But podcasting isn't their core business. Podcasting is their medium for getting their message out, and it's very valuable. And so it's great to watch. And for me, I'm just having fun. This isn't my living. I enjoy it very much. I'd hope to monetize it someday, but this is just something I enjoy doing, and I have so much that I want to get out to the world. And it's in my small little town, it's just a message that I want to get out. And it's not just about my town, but it's about the premise of my podcast is keeping things real, taking everything with a grain of salt. And social media makes it very, it's hard to get your entire message out because people don't really read. They don't read everything you write. Some people do, but it's just very hard to have an effective way of getting your message out. And that's what I'm doing. So, it's just fun. Some people take it way too seriously. I've seen that happening lately, and monopolizing on the Karen Reed case and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna say names. Y'all can figure that out. But yeah, the Karen Reed case, I talk about it everywhere. Oh, speaking of, look at my shirt. Turtle Boy made this. It's great. I got it on his website. House Long to Die in the Cold, or House Long to Die in Cold is what Jen McCabe Google searched at one on January 29th at 2:27 a.m. We all know why she did, but she's denying it. She's denying it even happened. She's denying that the software works and that Celebrate, I think that's what it's called, captured this piece of data, which is like, Celebrate is like one of the most respected technologies that, you know, the Commonwealth uses and a lot of law enforcement use to, I think it's Celebrate. I might have it wrong, but they're using this software, and she's just like, no, you're wrong. Everyone's wrong. Yeah, Jen McCabe, you Googled it. We all know you did, and we know why. It's so obvious. I just don't see how anyone could think that Karen is guilty. I just, after watching the trial, I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but I can't wait to see what happens next week and the week after and the week after. This might take a long time. Oh, good. You can hear me. Oh, good. I just got your comments. Yes, Kim, she is involved. Exactly. I'm so glad you're watching it. At first I'm like, I had nothing else going on. I was laying around because of my back surgery, and hi, Paige. And I just happened to start watching the trial right since day one, and I am engrossed in it. Like, I don't pay attention to anyone's opinions. I don't want to hear anyone's opinions. You guys might not want to hear my opinion, but I love talking about it with like-minded people, and I just love talking about it. It's fascinating. It's this cover-up, a lot of people can't fathom that police officers and first responders would lie and deceive and hide, and especially lie on the stand. But they are. You can just see it. And having lived through politics for the past decade, it's worse. And I've said this before, but it's worse than anyone can imagine. Like my friend Rena says, it's Somerset on steroids. And it is. It really is. People, like I said this before, people that have accused me of bizarre things, crazy things. I thought they were crazy. They would accuse me of getting bribes. They'd accuse me of having affairs with the police chief. They'd accuse me of having affairs with a woman that's now with the police chief, still former police chief. They said that I hired my friend. No, she wasn't my friend until I met her after we hired her. I met her because my board hired her. Like, I'm friends with the staff. That's okay. That's a healthy thing. And so being accused of those things, I just thought it was people making shit up just to be assholes. But what it really boils down to is projection. And now looking back, I'm realizing that these people that were accusing me of all these things, like obsessively accusing me, they're still accusing me of white envelopes and bribes and all this. I'd had to look up what a white envelope was. I didn't even know what that meant. That's how naive I was. So the people that are accusing me or anyone of these things are the ones that would do those things. So it's pure projection. And those are the people that live in their bubble, that think the world revolves around small town politics, that feel like they're the president of the United States when they're a selectman. They think that going to a selectman meeting and speaking their mind every fucking week is like the biggest deal. And that's all they do. They live for it. Those are the people doing bad things. And they're either doing bad things or they would do bad things, illegal things, unethical things, which is why I resigned, because the same guy I was talking about earlier and his colleague at the time when I was still on the board, when they were elected, they were so unethical. It's unbelievable how, and people have short memories, and I'm just going to keep reminding everyone. a lot of people, I sent out a newsletter when I campaigned this year. I sent it out way too late. I ended up not being able to mail it because it was way too expensive. So I was stuck at the last minute going door to door. And I literally turned voters' minds. I didn't mean to, but just having the conversation, explaining things to people, they were like, oh my God, people I didn't know. And then there were people that I met when I was at the polls that shook my hand and said, there were a handful of people, like, which means there are more, because not everyone's going to approach me to say it. They approached me and said, I got your newsletter today, and I'm only here to vote for you because of that newsletter. Like, they understood the sense of urgency because I communicated it in a fashion that was digestible. And that's the thing, is like, people, since this Karen Read case has been playing out, it has restored my faith in humanity, because there are so many people that support Karen and believe in this cover up. I'm like, God, finally, people that aren't, it's the people that are doing the potentially illegal and potentially unethical things that are allegedly doing it. I mean, it hasn't been proven yet, but so many people see through it, see through their lies, see through all the bullshit, because those people doing those things are stuck in their little world in Canton. They've gotten away with it for their whole lives. They've gotten away with now literally almost murder. So in my opinion, that's what I think the outcome will be. So those are the same people, the same mindset of people that are in Somerset that accuse people like me that want to do good things for the community, that are jealous. They're just jealous. Rena is so right. It boils down to jealousy. And for so long, people were like, why do these people hate you? Like, they never have ever sat with me and had a beer or like shook my hand. Let me add to this. So there are people that have never shaken my hand, have never spoken to me, have never taken the chance to hear me out, ever. And they have been attacking me like it's their job for years, saying that I deserve it. That no one deserves that. You can disagree, but you don't have to be the way that they've been. It's been awful. And it's everywhere. It's all over the country. But then there are the people, the disgustingly petty. Now look, being petty is kind of funny sometimes. I'm petty sometimes. And it's more like a sarcasm. But these people were so petty. I brought this up before in a live that let's think of former people that I was friendly with, not friends, but that turned on me and joined the bullies that they knew they were opportunistic and joined them. One had her feelings hurt because I wasn't going to take her word for it that she said someone had COVID in town. I'm like, that is not the chain of command. I'm not going to go blasting this because a random person, aka that woman, told me that someone might have COVID. I'm not doing it. She was so butthurt 4 years later that she made a very valiant effort to show that she did not support me winning because I hurt her feelings. Fuck off. So that's the type of person, like, grow up. And then this other type of person, there's another one that physically assaulted me. I used to be friends with her socially, and she treated another friend of ours like absolute shit. So I said, I want no part of this. I don't want to be your friend. She didn't do anything to me. I just told her I want no part of it. Fast forward to this election, she's all up my opponent's ass. I mean, visibly, like signs, and she's never political, but here she is with signs in your, give me a break. Like, you are that pathetic that you're just like you're the bad person, not me. I just told you how it was. And then the friend of hers that she was treating like shit used to be a friend of mine, but has Stockholm syndrome. It is back up her ass, even though she treated her like shit. I defended the other friend over and over and over again. And now that friend hates me too. God knows why, because all I did was defend her. And she's running around making it a valiant effort to show in front of me that she's supporting my opponent, who she never knew in the first place. She made a huge attempt to go meet my opponent, Alan. It was so gross. I'm so glad they don't, the trash took itself out, honestly. But those are the people that I'm dealing with. Those are the people that my opponent has support from. And that speaks volumes about him. And that speaks volumes about me. Because guess what? Good riddance. You are all shitty people. You're fake. You lie. You have like revenge. You pander. You are I just disgusted. Like, I don't want to be around people like that. So go ahead. Go right ahead. You know, they always say people show you their true colors. Let them. And believe them the first time. So, let's see, how many people are watching? I can't tell. You know, it just grosses me out. So I don't have any callers today. I don't know if Rena is still on. She might not be there. I don't know. I had to vent about that today. I've been thinking about a lot. I've been thinking I just love analyzing things. It's fascinating. You know, the Karen Reed case, politics, it all ties into Somerset politics. It's so close to home, literally. I've said this before, literally and figuratively. And just to see the patterns that have been occurring and the types of people, you know, it's so nice to see people sticking their neck out for Karen and supporting her. Like, it's just nice to see that. Normally, like, what I've experienced is that people are afraid. They're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to defend. Like, I felt like I was in an island for years defending myself. And then people yelled at me for defending myself. Like, what am I supposed to do? People would be like, oh, Holly, you just don't, you know, you don't even say, what am I supposed to sit there and be silent? Like, you're not saying anything. Someone has to say something because you're the coward, like cowering away. Oh, I don't want to say anything. It's too controversial. No, that's how people get away with shit. Speak up, see something, say something. And for too long, I was told to keep my mouth shut and just take it. You don't tell your kids to do that, do you? No, you don't. So don't tell me to do it, and don't tell anyone how they should feel, what they should say, because you're not in their shoes. Have some empathy and stick up for people that are being bullied. That's all that it is. So I can't even tell you how many times people would just diminish what I was going through because they didn't want to see it and they were uncomfortable. Well, I'm sorry, but you're not the one being attacked. So I'm sorry for your discomfort, but I didn't create it. I am defending myself. So my point is that it's so nice to see there are like 42,000 people in this Facebook group that are supporting Karen and speaking up and being very respectful to each other for the most part. I mean, it's a great group of people. They don't have loud, obnoxious protests. They go and have respectful standouts for Karen. They're all nice. They help each other. They are complimentary. It is just so refreshing to see. So let's see. Anyone who wants to call in? I had some people say, let me know, but I didn't message them. Let's see. Oh, you have people answering the survey. This is good. I didn't know if it would work. I kept trying it before and it didn't work, but I don't know. What do you guys think? you might not have a strong opinion on it because you haven't had to deal with it yet. I mean, obviously I have a very strong opinion on it. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. I got on a little bit late. Well, I'm just so excited my software is working. It took me weeks to get it to work. Now, if my internet would stop being so slow, that would be nice, but should I start another poll? The polls are fun. I'm not even going to bring up the other big news, national news today, because I don't want to talk about it. I'm happy about it, but I'm not going to argue with people about that. That's not something I'm going to talk about. Not right now. I'm not going to save the world by talking about that. Yeah. So who's still with me here? I can't tell. Let's see. Well, Kim, my friend Kim Newhouse, her maiden name's Newhouse, Schleifer. I don't even know if I say that right. She said, I think you're 100% justified in constantly fighting for yourself during all the political BS. The amount of people that attacked you for no reason was absolutely insane. Thank you. Like, and you see it from thousands of miles away, and you defended me more than most people. You did. Like, you helped me so much from a distance, and you may not realize that, but it helped me so much. Oh, good. I'm glad I pronounced it right. I still just call you Kim Newhouse. It's easier. No offense. No offense. So yeah, you know, you helped me so much. And no, you're one of my best friends. I kind of made fun of the term best friend the other day because I'm like, didn't we use that in third grade? Because on the Karen Reed trial, they kept saying, was this person your best friend? Like on the stand. I just think it's a strange thing to say, but I still say it. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, I didn't deserve any of that. Your heart is 100% pure and you only want what's best for your community. That's exactly what I want. Like I just want to make it the best it can be. And I've said this before and I'm not going to stop saying it. We have lost so much in the past 3 years. We have lost so much. And I know if I just kept campaigning, if I had a little bit more time to get my message out, which I didn't, and it's on me, I didn't start soon enough, that I think the message would have been effective. It was effective, it just wasn't out enough because people were listening. So that's partly why I'm doing this podcast. I care a lot, and this is my life. Like, I want to love where I live. I want to be happy. I want the town to be the best it can be. I want to stay here. I want to retire here. I have family here. Dan the other day said, hey, just spitballing, like, hey, what are the top 5 places that you would live in the country? Now, I've already lived a lot of different places. I've lived a great life. I've experienced a lot. But I couldn't answer his question. And I'm like, why can't I answer it? I'm here in this little town that no one really knows about, although Biden came here, so that's kind of a big deal. But I couldn't answer his question. And I'm like, what the hell? Because every place that I thought of that was beautiful or, you know, or cheaper or whatever it is, or on the water. I mean, we're on the water here, but I couldn't think of one place that I would want to stay because I know what it feels like to live in an amazing city. And I lived in America's greatest city, which is San Diego, for 11 years. And it was incredible, but I could not live there again. I don't think I could. It's just a different part of life now, and it's a different culture. Because I haven't been to, is it Salina, Texas? That's true. Although I don't want to live in Texas. Hi, Rena. Yeah, I just couldn't answer the question, but it's because I want to be where I am. Like, I feel like I've planted roots again. My roots are here. I've replanted my roots. I don't want to leave. So that's why I fight so much for what's right, because I see what we've lost and what it could be. And that was actually the title of my newsletter that I campaigned on, What Could Be. And there's so much. And my opponent has done a lot of damage, and people just, they have short memories. And it happens. And it happens always. So, yeah, I don't know. Well, I haven't had any callers yet. Does the sound okay? Like, it's not too loud or staticky? Just making sure. Let's see. Oh, good. People are answering the survey. Okay, good. It sounds great. Okay. A little bit of an echo. Let's see. Can you hear this? Or is that muted? How about this? I think I figured out the echo. Okay. I had to mute. I had 2 audio inputs. It was my desktop was resending the. Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully the rest of it sounded okay. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. So then that means, but I wonder if I played something on my computer, I guess I would need to unmute that desktop audio. I think that's what would happen. That makes sense. But I'm not going to play anything on the computer right now. Do you like my salt sign? I put black behind it, black construction paper, so you can see it better. I'm such a dork. Oh, hey! Yes, Rena, it is nice to have this as a hobby and a fun way to get the message out. And aside from the setup and the equipment, it's an easy way to get the message out. And it's more enjoyable. And I get to talk to everybody, which I really like. I don't know. I need to have a guest on. I think I know who my next guest will be because he voiced interest in coming on the podcast. But I think it will be recorded again. Obviously this is live. I enjoy doing lives, and I love having people call in. Is this even? Okay. Because it's super interactive, but there will be more recorded episodes too. And there's so many guests that I want to have on. I just haven't locked that in yet. I'm getting back in the saddle now. Now that things are working, my back is working, I feel better. I can sit now. It's not so painful. Thank God. Let's see. Yeah, so Dan's watching hockey. He couldn't come on tonight because he's dedicated to hockey, the hockey game, which is cool. Yeah. A lot of my friends have radio shows that I used to have a radio show at the local station, WSAR, which I loved. I loved having a radio show, but it was every week. And it was for an hour, which actually is less than an hour with the commercials. But I had a show when I was a selectman, and it was the best. I loved having guests, but I had a guest every week. And so I wasn't doing it alone. I enjoyed interviewing people. It was so much fun. But I have friends that also have shows. I think there are two friends of mine. There are probably more that I'm not thinking of, but there are at least two friends of mine that I'm thinking of that have very long, I think they're daily shows, and they're 2 to 3 hours each. That is a lot. How do they do it? I have mad respect. How do they talk for that long? I mean, they have callers. They do have callers, but not all the time. So who wants to call in? Somebody call in. Yeah, they, how can they talk for 2 hours? It's incredible. I mean, I could talk for that long if I had a guest or like a co-host. I definitely could, because my podcasts are typically 90 minutes, just coincidentally. They always end up being 90 minutes around there. But, oh shit. Hold on a second. Oh my God. Can't. Anyway, I don't know how. That's a pretty hard, I think, thing to do, to talk for that long. So props to them. But I do miss that radio station. I love them. And sadly, when I resigned, I had to give up the show. So, nobody can call in. Oh, come on, guys. Someone call. Come on. This software is so cool. I can have, like if I had to get up and do something, take a break or whatever, if I had a 3-hour show, like my friends, I can make a be right back screen, and it would still be live. And it's so cool. And I can stream to I'm streaming on YouTube right now too, through this software. Let's see how it's doing. Oh, it's good. Thank God. Oh, took me weeks. I don't know how people do it. Like, there's so many people that have some good podcasts that have been doing it for a while, that have the software down. Oh, Kim, that's okay. Oh, someone's calling. Yay. It doesn't have their name, so I don't know who it is. Hello?
I couldn't leave you hanging out there,
Yay!
Holly. It's Rena again.
I love it. Oh my God, I love it.
I was thinking, I'm watching you and I'm thinking about your life and all that you've experienced and you've come to this point and how you can have this podcast and it's fun.
It's
not like you're a civil engineer for the state of Massachusetts. You forget that, you're very humble. You're a very humble girl.
And thank you.
You are. You never, people that have to shout from the rooftops, I have a prestigious job. Give me a break. Who's hot? I mean, it's
dying.
So
I'm sorry.
It's ridiculous.
I have a prestigious job, they said.
I have a prestigious
Who says
job.
that? Who said?
I don't know. I heard it. I just heard it recently, and it floored me. And I thought to myself, here's my girl Holly, civil engineer, went to an Ivy League school, has a master's degree, has lived all over the country, back in Somerset, and people are trying to compare themselves to you. Ridiculous.
And we know who that person was that said they have a prestigious
Ridiculous.
job.
And they're gonna make yeah, yeah.
If you have, it's like someone saying, "I am so humble.
I'm
like,
so beautiful.
I'm so."
Who talks like
You
I'm so hot? Who talks? We were all young. Well, you're still in your 40s. And but we were all 20.
Yes.
We were all doing our thing back in the day.
Yes.
And we were all cute. You get older.
Did they say that they were beautiful too?
I heard that.
Oh.
Hot. And God bless you if you think, that's a good to have good self-esteem, but nobody talks. People don't say
I think
that.
the person says it to try to convince themselves that they are. I'm sorry.
Maybe. Maybe. It's maybe. But, when you have to say I have a lion doesn't have to tell you they're a lion. They're just a lion.
Yes.
They walk in a room.
Right.
There's a lion. You don't have to say, I'm a lion. No.
Oh, it's so funny.
I think where you are in your life, and where I talk to my daughter, who I said, Sarah, always go to college, get a degree, put it in your back pocket, whatever you do. She's doing well. My son too. Do what you put it in your back pocket, and it's okay. If you choose to do something else, you have that to fall back on.
Yeah.
You need a plan.
You do.
Yes.
You do.
Absolutely.
You do. And that's what I was going to tell you. And when I lived in San Francisco, so I lived in San Diego for a long time. I was doing construction and all that, like where my roots, my career roots are. And then I moved to San Francisco after I worked for Tony Hsieh. So when I, on the book launch, and when I worked in San Francisco, I worked for a startup. So I was in a whole different ecosystem of people with very different backgrounds, very inspiring people, very intelligent people, but a lot of very stuck up people as well that thought, because it was actually like a bubble. Like people, I wanted to make a t-shirt that said, no, I don't know who you are and I don't care. Like they all were like, look at me. Who do I know? Who do you know? That kind of atmosphere. Oh. And while there were so many amazing people that I met out there, but at the same time, the energy there in general is very, it's like a startup bro culture. Young dudes, mostly dudes, like the whole Me Too movement is alive and well out there.
I get you.
And, sorry. And so, being in that ecosystem, so many people were like, so I worked for a startup for 6 months. They restructured everything and got rid of several employees, me being one of them. And they hired a new CFO who cut. They were like, no, we need to make cuts, even though they just raised $12 million, but whatever. So it was a bunch of bullshit. But after I left the startup, I started interviewing with some pretty big companies, like Uber. I interviewed with Uber. They were small at the time. They just launched.
Wow.
I interviewed, at Eventbrite. Eventbrite wanted to pay me $40,000 a year. And they were like so impressed. They said my resume was the best resume they've ever seen. And all this, and I'm like, 40 fucking like you can't live in San Francisco on that.
Can't live anywhere.
It was so insulting. So there were more companies but in hindsight, they're being run by young kids, and they don't know what they're doing. I mean, when it comes to hiring and having etiquette, there's no etiquette. They forget to call. They don't bother emailing you. There's no common courtesy. They just kind of do whatever.
No professionalism.
None. And so even when I was hired, it was the guy that hired me was awesome, but he had a falling out with some of the people at the startup I was at. So he got pushed out, and then I got pushed out after him because I was tied to him. Part of the reason why I got pushed out, but which is fine. But I for like the next 6 months, I was unemployed, and I was job hunting, and I mean, I calculated once. I think it was in a time period of like 3 weeks, I had 800 email interactions. 800.
Wow. How can one even keep track of that?
I know. And I had to count because I'm like, I just did a quick estimate and I looked through my email and it was like coffee meetings, networking events, interview meetings. Some were casual, some were not, some were on the phone. Like I had 800 interactions with people. There was one that was so unprofessional that I just walked out. But after 6 months of this, I was beaten down so bad. And I'm like, what the fuck? I got pushed out of this little startup. I'm interviewing everywhere. There's no common courtesy. And I had no money. Like I bled out all my savings. Like I spent every penny I had to survive. And I'm like, what am I doing here? But for 6 months, I forgot that I actually had a brain. Like they made me feel like such shit that I forgot who I was. I was like trying to prove myself, and to these people that like don't care about my master's in engineering, they just care about these other checkbox that you have to, meet. Do you have like Scrum, whatever the fuck it's called, Scrum marketing and all this bullshit, these new terms that were coming out.
We're so far behind of all that. I mean, like you were so far ahead with all of the.
Yep. But I didn't check their check boxes, so they made me feel less than. And it's like this better, holier than thou attitude out there. So after 6 months of it, I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, what am I doing? That's when I decided to move home. I'm like, I don't know why I'm trying to get a job here. Like, I don't want to stay. This is crazy.
Wow.
I want my mother. So I woke up and called my sister and I was like, I gotta go home. She's like, what? You've been away for 14 years. Why now? I'm like, it's time. It's just time. It's time. So we had the best time, like moving me back cross country. We had a whole trip planned. Like it was just awesome. And that's why another reason why like I'm all set. Like Kimberly's going to laugh because I said all set. It's like a Northeast thing. We say we're all set. Because in California, they were like, what are you talking about? All set? What? So anyway, so when I moved home in 2013, I got a job with Boston Medical Center in their construction department, a facilities group. And I still had that mindset that like I was trying to prove myself to, who I know and name dropping and all this bullshit because of San Francisco had me conditioned. And I was walking out of where the offices were in the hospital power plant. So I was walking out of the power plant one day and my HVAC guy, Paul, his name was Paul, he's walking in and he said hello. And I'd only been there like a few weeks. And I remember hearing myself talk and I was like, ew, no one gives a fuck about, why am I sound like an idiot. Like, what am I talking about? Like, these people don't know who I'm talking about. Like, oh my, and then I realized like, oh my God, San Francisco is a bubble. Like I am acting like I'm from San Francisco and I sound like an idiot. Like and so I'm like, oh my God, all those people that made me feel like shit, they can go fuck themselves.
That's right.
I'm smart. I have a degree. I totally forgot who I was. And so anyway, I'm walking out of the power plant and I see Paul and he's coming into the power plant and I'm like, hey, Paul, how's it going? All I said was, how's it going? And he goes, it's fucking awful, but how are you? I'm like, oh my God.
I'm home.
I'm home.
Boston, I'm home.
It was the best day ever. And I was like, that's it. Like, I'm not leaving.
Good for you. And you exactly, you're who you are. And isn't that a good thing? And isn't it good to have this hobby and not have to depend on it? And you
right.
It's great. Good for you.
Right.
Everybody should have their independence.
Right. And some people think that their podcast is the cat's meow. I hate that term. I don't know why.
It's wicked cute. Because there's so many out there now.
Yes.
I mean, I had a job for 29 years. I raised family, had a job for 29 years, retired. My husband's retired. We retired early. We were lucky.
That's awesome.
So like I don't know how to say this, but like I love chatting with you, and I love being. I wouldn't have this time if I had a growing family, or if I had like a life. I'd have to be having some sort of a make a living. But I love calling your podcast.
I
and
love
the
you
fact
calling
that
my podcast.
you're so interesting, and I've learned so much from you about politics because, like I've told you before, I was just not involved. You know, I vote, of course, but I would, and I think I was, an educated voter. But
well, you are. But most people don't know.
I didn't know all this. I guess what it is, Holly, is really the fact that you served as a selectman for 5 years. You saw the inside. It's like behind the curtains with the Wizard of Oz. You see any place you work. You see the inside workings, but nobody else sees.
Right.
So you really have taught me a lot about things and how people are, and just because I really, I don't know, maybe I'm just naive. But
I was naive. I get it.
I know, I think nobody would do that.
Right. That's exactly how I was. Yes.
Do that.
Right.
That's
not true. They're exaggerating. Right.
I grew up that way. I grew up with a mother that way. Say, that's not true. I'd be like, Ma, it is true. I'm telling you. She'd be, oh, no. That's not true. Because she didn't want it to be true. It wasn't true.
Well, yes. Yes. Even my mom was like, Holly, like, cause it's even my mother, like anyone, why would you know how bad it is if you aren't in my shoes? Like, of course you're not going to know. And that's why, like, it's nice to tell you because you actually listen. You're not dismissive. You listen and you understand.
I like to learn.
Yeah.
I like to learn.
Yeah.
I do. That's what life is. It's learning. And you think at your age, all the experiences you had for the 14 years living all over the country, mostly I know you lived out west, but I mean, and everything you did with Tony Hsieh, who really was Amazon. Let's face it. I mean, he was Amazon. Zappos. But you think of all the experience. You can never get back your youth. You just can't.
Right.
Have fun. Do it. Do what you got to do. You want to have kids, have kids. You don't want to have kids, don't have kids. You want to get married, get married. There are no rules.
Right.
How you're supposed to live a life. And as long as you're happy and you're productive, who's to say what's right and what's wrong?
Exactly.
My generation was more, I'm 64. So my generation was on the cusp of, I didn't, like when we went to high school, it was more like business side and college side. You went clerical, then you might go off to business school. It was different. It was just changing. It was just starting to change. So I encourage, I didn't go to college. I was on the business side, but I had a very good job for 29 years. And
that's awesome.
And I raised a family. And that was my life. Yeah. But I wanted my daughter.
Yep.
To make sure that, and my son, both of them, to make sure that they were had a formal education and put it in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Put it in your back pocket. If you don't want to do what you go to school for, you always have it.
Yeah, that's okay. At least you have a degree.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely. And nobody can take it away from you.
Yeah. And it's not to say, like, I mean, I do have a lot of friends that don't have degrees that are very successful. They've made a lot out of their lives, and props to them. Like, that is admirable. But a lot of them also say, like, oh, I wish I had. And, it's funny now because I see people in that San Francisco, Silicon Valley ecosystem, like, because for so long they would be like, oh, quit your job and do what you love, or, strive to do what you love and be an entrepreneur. And I was like, I was searching back then. So I was like, oh, I love this idea. And, that's what I did. I moved out to Vegas and helped Tony launch a book. And I needed a break from construction. But now I'm seeing that whole ecosystem kind of change their tune. Like Gary Vaynerchuk, he was part of the tour. He's kind of a household name now. And he's awesome. And he's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Like, stable jobs are good things. Like, they allow you to have hobbies, like we're, on a podcast.
Absolutely.
They allow you to make a living, and they're we need more of that, and it's stability, and there's nothing wrong with it. And so like
Yeah.
they're even changing their tune. So it's good.
Well, absolutely. I think of my friend, a very close friend of mine that I grew up with, her daughter, Jen. She got her master's degree, and then she went to Northeastern, and I forget where she got her undergrad and grad, but it doesn't matter. So she decides, Linda goes, yep, Jen just got her degree, and guess what? She's going to St. John's Island to bartend for a couple of years. I'm like, good for her.
Yeah.
Now she's back. She's working in finance. You know, she was out there for 2-3 years, had a ball living on the island, St. Martin, St. John, doing her thing, bartending, meeting people. Came back with her degree that never goes bad. And now she's working in finance and doing fabulous.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's important.
It's important. That's exciting. That's great. From you.
Yeah. My era was a little bit more like, it was just changing. It was, like I said, you know, it was just people, a lot of my friends were nurses, became nurses. You know, I think it was different. A little different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
so
it
the
has
fact
changed.
that you became an engineer, that's very impressive.
Yeah. And I remember being so stressed because I'm like, I always tell this to Dan's kids. Because I remember so many people when I was like 21, because I graduated college, I was just turning 21, and I went straight to grad school afterwards. And so I was 21, 22 getting my master's, which is young, because most people are a lot older than that.
Because you went to school young, right? Because you're a fall baby.
Right, exactly. So they were like, what? How? You're young. And I'm like, what? So I just graduated college. Isn't that normal? Like, but what was my point?
You got it done.
Oh, I remember people saying to me, you have so much time. You have so much time. And I remember feeling this immense sense of urgency. And I'm like, how could these people be saying I have so much time? Like, this is my one shot. Like, this is it. And
because you didn't know how young you were.
Yeah. But then I realized, like, you really can't rely on having a lot of time, because every decision you make affects your future. So back then I was like, no, this is it. Like, I don't have a lot of time. I'm not wasting time just sitting here with my thumb up my ass. Like, oh, you know, I'm going to make decisions quickly and enjoy my life and just get it done.
And that's what you did.
Yeah. Yep.
And look where you are. You're happy. You're successful. You know, you have a great job.
Oh, thank God.
Massachusetts. You know, which my husband worked for 32 years.
Best job of my life.
You're going to be very happy when it's retirement time, my friend.
Best job
very
ever.
Happy.
I am grateful every single day.
You as well, you know, both my kids, you know, one works for the state, one works for the city. You know what both they do for a living.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
You know, I think you're doing it. You're paying into a pension. My son's raising a family with his wife. But they're doing it, and I'm so proud of that.
Yeah. And that's it's just, and you're the mother, like, you created that, which is so awesome, you know. And so, like,
well, it was a rough going with Ryan there for a little bit. He's a great kid. He's done wonderfully, but I'm talking about high school, you know, and when they give you a little bit of flack. But yeah.
My Lola.
Life's good. Life's good.
Lola's on the screen. Hi, Lola. Yes.
Oh.
Hi, my good girl.
I just think, so as a person that's older than you, I can look at your life and say, good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Yeah.
Oh, it means
you have this little hobby, and I get to call up.
You do. I'm so excited.
I hear myself and I think, my God, that accent I have. So you've lost your accent. I still have a heavy.
No, don't lose it. I wish I didn't lose my accent. You have to keep it.
Well, I'm not going to lose it now, Holly. I am who I am.
You can't, because
and I'm great with that. You're going to get, you know, I'm happy with that. Like, I look at my life and with my husband, and my grown kids and my two grandchildren. And I look back at my life, and it wasn't easy. My husband works a lot of hours, and it was a lot. But like I think we did that.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yes. Enjoying life.
I remember my dad used to say to me, he used to say, if you go to bed broke, you shouldn't be going to bed. And I can still remember that. Yeah, that's what he would say.
I love it.
Yeah, hard worker.
Yeah.
Hard working man.
Yeah.
Worked with a machinist, and that's how we were brought up. That's how I was brought up.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, that's life.
And it's similar to my mom's parents. They were, I need to share this online. I meant to share it. I'm so proud of it. My uncle was invited to speak at Archbishop Williams in Quincy.
Oh, wow.
And because he graduated from there, and all my mom's siblings did. And my grandfather was on the board. I don't know if it's considered the board of trustees. I think it is. For the school, and did so much for the school. And my grandmother as well, like she moved up from the South to marry my grandfather, and she was a librarian and did so many other things for the school for decades, both of them. And so my uncle, my mom's brother, was invited to speak, I think it was last week, at their graduation. And it was such a good speech. And I even learned things about my family that I didn't know. Apparently, like Archbishop Williams, I can't remember what it was. They were trying to build bleachers for the fields or something like that, and they had to have like collateral, to get the loan. And so my grandfather went home, and I think he got his deed, and he used his mortgage as collateral for the school. My grandmother's like, Nikki, like she wanted to kill him. but this is like, and the same thing, my grandfather one day, so my uncle and my grandfather are both CPAs. Well, my grandfather's no longer with us, but my uncle is still a CPA. He's retired, but that's his livelihood. So my grandfather was working for a company in Quincy, born and raised in Quincy like his whole life. But anyway, working in Quincy.
This is mom's dad.
Mom's dad.
Maternal
Yeah, the Italian side.
The Italian side.
Yes.
I got it with the Nikki. I caught it.
My papa. We call him Papa.
Papa. That's what my kids call my dad, Papa.
Oh, I love it.
Old Italian. And that's what I love it.
I guess I was the first grandchild, so I coined it somehow. I don't know how. So, Papa, he was working, and my uncle was, I think he was in his 20s at the time. I don't remember how old, but my grandfather came home one day and said to my grandmother, "Oh, I quit my job." And she's like, "What? We have 5 children to raise?" And he's like, "Nope, I'm starting my own business." She's like, "What the we have 5 kids." And he made it work. He made it happen. And my uncle worked for him. My uncle's like, "Well, I'm going to work for my dad," for years, and very successful, to the point where, like, at his wake in Quincy, there was a line out the door before it even started, an hour wait for 4 hours the whole time. There were people coming up from New York City to pay their respects to my family. I'm like, what did my grandfather do? So
he probably treated everybody very well.
He did.
And isn't that, no matter what happens, we're all going to end up in a box.
Yes.
It's like, it's what you do. It's what it's how you make people. I don't want to be corny, but it's how you make people feel.
It's true.
Because that's what you remember. It's how somebody made you feel.
Yes. There was a guy in line that said, he told me and my mom, and he probably told the rest of the family, like, he wanted to pay his respects to Papa because, they call him Nick Pape. So Nick, he wanted to pay his respects because years ago, when the guy was young, he was buying his first home, and he had no money for a down payment, and my grandfather loaned it to him, but didn't tell a soul. So we learned of it at his wake.
Because he was a lion.
Yes. And he didn't tell anyone he was.
No.
Because he didn't have to.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's how I was brought up Depression era parents.
Yep.
You know, big families. My mother was one of 13, youngest of 13.
Wow.
My dad was one of 9. So I have a big, huge family. I grew up in a big, huge family. I had tons of cousins. And my husband's one of 11. So
wow.
there's a lot of, I have a lot of, I think I have so much, so my kids have grown up with a ton of first cousins. And on my side, they have 2 as well. And you can't, it's such a nice thing. It's such a nice thing. You know where you came from. And my husband's family's owned a business. I won't say the name of it, but it was, it's in the family, and they just had 100 years. Had a 100-year anniversary. Yeah. How cool is that?
That is so cool.
It's great. And my husband's grandfather came over from Canada and started it, you know, from scratch and made it successful. And it's a very cool thing. It is.
Wow.
And family is very important. And you and I were brought up a lot, very similar.
Yes.
Of course, my mom, the fact that my parents were Depression era, my dad was a World War II veteran.
Yep. My papa too. Yep.
Yep. And my mom was, you know, the youngest of 13, and she went to visitor school. That was like getting a PhD back then.
Yes.
You know, it was, and she worked for the mayor, which was huge.
That's massive.
But I know it was back then.
Yep.
It really was. You know?
Both my grandparents got their masters as well. It's the same type of people.
It's just hard-working people.
Yeah.
And we're
That
very
is
fortunate
so amazing.
that we can. And when my kids turn around and look, and which was very important to me, bringing them up. I've been married for 40 years this year, and bringing them up and thinking, you know, I want them to turn around and say, I know where I came from.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
I, at one point, really wanted to raise kids like my parents raised me and have a big family and, you know, really carry on that legacy from my grandparents and the rest of my family and my extended family and my dad's side as well. But life is so different now.
There's no rules.
Yeah.
You know, I have one married with children, the other one not, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, people, and they both, you know, both of them kind of support themselves and do very well. So that's what's important. And it's not so much it's how much work you put into it and what you do on a daily basis. And people, it's getting lost, Holly.
Right.
It's getting lost.
Wait, hold on 1 second. I'm going to merge this call.
Oh, no.
Hold on. Hello? Wait. Did they go? Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay,
Hi.
Who's that?
Hi. I don't know.
Oh wait.
I couldn't rewind on your channel, but I wanted to call in to see if you were still talking about the Karen Reed case.
Yes. Wait, is this Lori? I couldn't hear. It's breaking up.
It is.
Oh, Lori, I thought I recognized
you know what?
your voice.
I'm gonna get off the line so I can listen to you both talk about the Karen Reed case.
Okay.
Bye, Lori. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Rena.
Bye. So I couldn't rewind it. So what's your take going on?
That's okay. We ended up talking about a lot of other stuff, so we didn't really get into Karen Reed. So perfect timing.
Well, I love the synapse that you sent me earlier.
Isn't that crazy?
And I think it's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, that person does a great job. I haven't seen all of their tweets, but every time I catch their tweets, it's like such a good job.
Well, this is my silly theory that is very far-fetched and probably a little like drinking, okay, from the other night.
Yeah.
From Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
What if, because he was, you know, everybody's told me that he was a stand-up police officer.
Yeah.
Stood by the law, as we've all really witnessed and we've all seen.
Right.
what if he, like, obviously, like, what if he was beat up in the house and they staged the whole entire death thing?
So,
And I know it's far-fetched, but what if that's why the feds ended up coming in it, and that's why the judge and Lally is just advocating for the defense at this point,
it's bizarre.
isn't it?
Yes, it's very bizarre.
So what if he is actually alive and they're just going through a mock trial so that they can't do double jeopardy with Karen Reed?
So let me, okay, so what would be the incentive for the Alberts to stage it?
They think he's dead
Oh,
because he didn't die on the lawn. He died in the hospital.
right. So
I know it came up as like a drunken, far-fetched theory over Memorial Day weekend that's kind of stuck with me. And then I'm like, maybe.
it's just interesting. It's just interesting. I don't think he's alive, but it's an interesting.
I wish he is. I really hope he is.
Yeah.
As a quote,
Yes.
But
yes.
I hope he is. I mean, maybe it's a fairy tale, but I came up with it the other night when I was finishing watching the trial.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh.
So you think it was staged by him, not the Alberts?
No. I think he went in there, and then whatever happened, and then he had to, like, plan B.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's interesting. It's so fascinating, honest to God. Like, I just can't.
Like, witness relocation for the time being. Like, is the last witness that defense is going to call going to be John O'Keefe?
Can you imagine?
Oh, my God, it'd be a soap opera.
Can you imagine?
It's far-fetched. I understand that.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting. I mean, it's so interesting to think of, like, what could, because it's like, yeah, the trial will go on. Yeah, we'll be able to figure things out. The FBI, the feds, the state, whoever, but we'll never really know. You know?
But why are they keeping so much of it out of it?
That's what I don't understand either.
Like, I've watched the pre-trials and all that stuff, and so much stuff,
Yeah.
excuse me, is being hidden by from the jury.
Right. And what I don't
And if all those jurors do not know anything, I don't believe it for a second.
Right. Right. And what, the only thing I could come up with was that they were hiding, that they couldn't release all the FBI information because it's still ongoing. So you can't talk about an ongoing investigation at the same time that it's ongoing. So that may be a reason, but
Touché, yep.
But it's still so important. Like, why could they talk about it? They could talk about it in the pretrial hearings. Why can't they talk about it now? Like, what's the difference? I don't get it.
If it was so secretive in the pretrial,
right,
then why would they broadcast it and stream it?
Exactly. You have a good point. I mean, because
I don't know. It's very far-fetched. It was a drunken weekend, not drunken weekend, but drinking weekend.
Yeah, that's normal.
After I had a couple drinks and I was watching the rest of Hagen's.
Yeah,
I think it was Friday night.
Yep.
And I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Also, did you hear Hagen's attorney, what he said that got picked up on the mic?
The pleading the fifth or something?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
He said plead the fifth if you have to.
Yes.
And why would you destroy the phone completely?
Exactly.
If you have nothing to hide.
Exactly. And then he spoke in hypotheticals. He didn't even admit. He wouldn't outright admit. He said,
if I were to destroy my phone. Yeah, I got that too.
Yes. Like, dude, you did it. You know.
Well, I'm not sure that he did it, but he's got some involvement.
Yes.
It does not look good.
It doesn't. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water. Oh my God, I'm
But
so glad
then-
you called in because I'm so glad this works now and people can call. Yeah, oh, my friend Kim said,
Well, I hope I'm not being like wicked boring about this.
no, not at all.
Just some ideas
No, I love
that
it.
I've come up with.
My friend Kim.
I've been following. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
Excuse me.
okay. My friend Kim said she quoted him, "I had every right to throw away my phone if I were to destroy my phone." Like, what?
Who does that? Who
Right.
does that?
Right, no
Like,
one.
if somebody got my number, that like this is actually happening in real life.
Right.
If somebody got my phone number or like my husband's number or anybody in my family that's on my plan, I go to Verizon or AT&T or I don't know, Sprint or something, and I say I need a new number.
Yes.
I don't go to a military base. Take the SIM card out, destroy it with like I don't know, what was it, like an 8x8 tamper that he used,
Right.
and then destroy the entire phone. I mean, come on.
Exactly. And he said it so matter-of-factly as if we're supposed to believe that it's okay. So nobody throws their phone away. I have my old phones. I keep them. No one throws them in the trash.
I have one of my old phones that I saved for my daughter.
Yeah.
The other one, last time I upgraded my phone, they wanted
You
it.
turn it in. I've done that
So-
too. Yeah. Yep.
I did that, but
Yeah.
I didn't snatch the SIM card on a military base. I mean, I think it's taking like the next step, no?
Yes. Yes. I
So
love.
it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I think it's like totally telling the jury that I'm guilty.
Right. Right. And what was I going to say? I don't know. My friend Kim said she has 15 of her old phones. She called herself a hoarder.
I actually think I have another two. I think I have my first one.
That's cool though. That's cool. Sometimes they're pretty cool. Oh yeah, like Rena said, he put them in 2 dumpsters, like separate dumpsters.
Hello?
Like what the what?
Who does that?
No one. Oh, what I loved is how Jackson said, "Are you familiar with the term consciousness of guilt?" I loved that. And
I think
and then
I missed that.
that was when he was describing how his FBI buddy went
Keith.
and like helped him with that kiosk to download all
Yep.
or extract all the data, just selective of what text messages he extracted. Then he destroyed the phone, and that's when
The day before he was ordered to turn over.
the day before.
By the
And
way.
what's crazy is that, and you probably already know this, but Higgins and Brian Albert were served that letter, that notice of preservation of evidence for their phone on 2 different days. Different days. They're not even the same day. And both of them, each of them, the day before of each of the times they got the letter, the day before they got that letter served, they destroyed each of their phones. That's not a coincidence.
No way. No way.
Exactly. There's no way. And that's when they were describing that, like the kiosk. So Jackson was like, "Oh, so he was accusing him of committing a felony because he was using federal property for his political or personal gain, which is a felony, because he wasn't doing it for an investigation. He wasn't doing it for a case he was on. He was doing it for himself. And that
Yeah.
is a felony. Like, when I was a selectman, I can't use the printer to print campaign flyers. Like, that is like, you can't do that. So, and obviously
Exactly.
his is so much worse. And that's when Jackson was like, "Are you familiar with the term consciousness of guilt?" And then Lally goes, "Objection," and it was sustained.
Sustained.
Oh,
It's supposed to give a reason why they object.
John's here too.
Wait, is it John?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
He said there's a reason that they're supposed to.
When they say objection, they have to give a reason. They
Right.
can't just say objection.
Right. It's constant.
Objection sustained. Well, why was he objecting?
And then she gives him cues sometimes.
Yes.
Now
yes.
you know that she knows the family.
Yes. And
And she was asked to step down, and she did not.
right, because she said her name wasn't spelled that way. Well, I'm sorry, but maybe the girl spelled your name wrong because she doesn't know you that well. Like I
Trust
could
me,
spell.
everybody spells my name wrong.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Okay?
say like
I
your
get it.
name. Yes. Exactly.
I'm telling you, it's so like, and honestly, Holly, as a Massachusetts resident, I am honestly kind of abashed and mad
Yes.
that these people think that they can get away with this, and that we're so ignorant
Yes.
to believe it.
Exactly. And I was saying this to Dan. That's exactly right. I was saying to Dan today, I won't say the name of the person. I'll tell you offline, but you probably can guess. But there's a person in our state that is very powerful, has an elected office, not a very high elected office, but it's pretty high. Was also a first responder at one point. I won't say what. They have their hands and their fingers in everything politically, and they're legally as well. So for years, I've been saying that this person thinks they're untouchable. And I'm realizing now, because for so long, I'm like, there's no way this person can get away with, they think they're invincible, they think they're cool, but there's no way that they're that untouchable. But now that I look at it with these, the same lens as I'm looking at Karen Reed, I'm like, oh my God, they literally are untouchable. The same person, they're just like the Alberts. They're no different.
What if happened to you or I?
What's that?
I mean, seriously, or Eddie, what would happen to you or I?
Exactly.
In educated, well-to-do people in the community.
Yes.
Just railroaded all the way.
Yes.
Is it okay if I put you on speaker so that John can?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Do you have any other callers?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I don't want to, if you have other callers, I don't want you to...
Oh, no, you're good. No, you're good.
Okay. I'm thinking about, I just thought of something else.
Wait, you're breaking up.
I have allergies, so I lose my voice again. Now, I don't know about you, but if something was going on outside of my house, I'd be outside.
Yes.
Maybe it's a trait of my family. I am not a first responder. I am not trained in anything. I will tell you a quick little cute story. In December, my husband wasn't feeling well. He was laying on the couch.
Yeah.
My daughter wanted to take a bath. Put her in the bath. The dog wanted to go out. I brought her outside. She runs around free. I got my daughter out of the tub, got her in jammies, brought the dog in. 15 minutes later, I've got 2 cruisers outside of my house. Which I noticed because there's shining lights around.
Yeah.
So I go and look. The dog woke up my husband, blah, blah, blah. And I go out to talk to the officers, and I couldn't find them. I walked around the other side of the house. We're on a corner lot. And they weren't there. I walked back around, and they left. We looked at the ring camera, and they were looking for something.
Yeah.
So I sat for, my husband went back to sleep. I sat there for 15 minutes trying to figure out what the heck was going on, right? The first thing I did, though, was go outside, okay?
Yeah.
My dog was full of lipstick, bright red lipstick on a white dog.
Oh, great, she got shot.
With a machine gun.
What?
Yeah,
Because of lipstick.
yeah. Our daughter put lipstick all over the back end of our dog, and we think somebody called it like a wounded animal call.
Oh,
But the first thing I did was go outside to see what was going on.
exactly.
And I'm not an EMT.
Right.
John's not an EMT.
Right.
I am CPR certified.
Yes,
That's awesome. I am not. It's so fundamental. Like, why wouldn't?
The first thing I would do, I saw cruises in front of the house. First thing I did was go outside, like, what's going on now?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And the other thing too, Holly, right?
Yeah.
There's snow on the ground. Okay. Not much snow, but there's enough. Okay.
Yeah.
When there's snow on the ground, it is brighter outside at night. Okay.
You're right.
So you mean to tell me that you're in that house and that house is not getting lit up by lights?
Yes. Great point.
That would have totally woke you up.
That's a great point.
Not only that, the dog would have woke you up.
On the dog.
Exactly.
Right. And Jen McCabe running in the house and didn't notice the dog.
Right. She didn't remember. Okay.
Moron. What a moron. I don't remember that. I don't remember any of that stuff, but I remember exactly what Karen said.
Right.
I remember that.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Right. I think.
If I can continue, if it's okay.
Oh yeah, you
I
guys.
had a German Shepherd. I think I told you this earlier.
Oh, that's right.
I
Right.
had a German Shepherd. I'm sorry, what?
No, go for it. Yeah. Yeah.
I had a German Shepherd when I was a single lady. Okay?
Yeah.
And this German Shepherd was the nicest pup. She was half German Shepherd, half Saint Bernard. But she was the nicest dog on the planet. If she ever, like, I don't know, thought I would be threatened at all, she'd rip your face off,
Yes.
no matter who it was. And if there was anything going on outside, I knew about it.
Yes.
Every single thing. And, like, as a matter of fact, my brother-in-law used to fill in on the mail route every once in a while. And my dog knew my brother-in-law very well. And he'd come into the mail, and he'd see me, and he's like, Lori,
Yeah.
your dog wants to rip my face off.
Yeah. Yes.
Just
And,
because, is it because I'm a mailman? She knows me.
yep. Yep. Because it's
And
still an
there's no
outsider.
way. There is no way that that dog did not bark. That dog was out of the house. That dog was out of the picture right then and there. There is no way. I'm sorry. As a German Shepherd owner, there is no way.
I believe that. I totally believe that. I think one of the was it Caitlin? I think Caitlin took the dog.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
why would what's his name? Her boyfriend Tristan. Why? So he went home to. They didn't think this through very good. So he went home to catch some sleep before his 3 a.m. plow time. And
Which I get. I
yep,
get that.
that makes sense. But then she wakes him up at 2 a.m. to just pick her up when she could have gotten a ride home. Like, bullshit. It was an emergency. She needed him to go, come hell or high water, fuck your sleep and come get the dog. And we got to get the fuck out of here.
Do you not get that? She's
Yeah.
high maintenance.
Yeah, right.
After this.
What's that?
The other thing I didn't understand either, during Brian Albert's testimony, he said that she had to go upstairs to get the dog, right?
Right.
His son was home with friends. So wouldn't the dog be out already, and wouldn't the dog greet him when he comes in the door,
Yes.
right?
That's a good point, too. Yeah.
I had to go upstairs and get the dog. Why?
Right.
I don't know.
Right. And did you hear Brian Albert? So everyone says they were showing pictures. They were showing Higgins pictures of the son and the military in the living room on the ground floor, the first floor. Brian Albert said he slipped. He said, I went upstairs to show Higgins the pictures in the living room.
Right.
But instead of saying the living room, he caught himself because he just slipped and accidentally said, yeah, he said, I went up to the bedroom upstairs in the second floor to show him the pictures. But then every other testimony was, no, the pictures, like Nicole Albert, Higgins, everyone said, no, the pictures were in the living room, whatever. But they didn't realize that Brian Albert slipped and said upstairs to the second floor. But Higgins said he had never been to the second floor. So when you go upstairs, and this is the funny thing, Higgins couldn't answer this fucking straightforward question. I don't know if he was playing dumb or if he's actually dumb, but Jackson was like, okay, if you're going upstairs to the living room on the ground floor, where do you have to be in the first place to go upstairs to get to the living room? He's like, I don't get it. And it's like, no, you were in the basement.
Yeah. He's a dumbass.
Yeah, he's like, I don't get it.
He's so dumb.
Yeah.
He's getting all these text messages from fucking Karen, doesn't understand what's going on.
Right, good point.
I'm a fucking dumbass.
And that's another thing.
You know, they're trying to slander her by doing that. Which is bullshit.
She was obviously not happy.
Yeah, she was flirting like it wasn't even. Oh.
I mean, obviously they both know that they had relationship issues.
Yeah.
John and Karen. They both knew that.
Yes.
You know, so she was pursuing, and then I think if something did happen between her and Brian, she would have called it off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he's too stupid to get the hint, so.
He was so dumb. Oh, and one of my friends brought up another good point about that. What if, so you know how the texts, like they read some of the texts, okay, they're flirting, whatever. But then at one point, I remember feeling like this is weird. Like it didn't seem like it flowed. At one point, Karen's texts were saying like, oh, but we only we kissed last night, didn't we? But it was just a peck. And he said, yeah, it was just a peck. And it was like, but it was strange. So my friend's theory is that John, at that point in the text message thread, John had her phone and was testing Higgins, pretending to be Karen.
Maybe.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then they had a point.
He kept looking down when he had to identify Karen.
Oh, I didn't notice
that. He looked down like he was ashamed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care.
Right.
Like, who does anything with anybody? Like, it doesn't have anything to do with it.
Exactly.
But it has nothing to do with the case. It like the defense, the prosecution is trying to just make her look bad.
Right.
And then bring the kids around.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, you can tell them to say whatever they want.
Right.
And you know what? Karen doesn't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Kids are a big responsibility.
Exactly.
What about Jen and Terry?
Oh.
Terry Roberts telling Karen to shut the fuck up when she was screaming.
Oh my God, that was so sick to me.
Like you're not a friend if you do that.
You're not. You're a raging. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then you got Jen McCabe sitting there on the TV, talking to the cops.
Yep.
And it's like, and she's like, I was in shock. No, you fucking weren't.
No.
You already knew what happened.
You're saying
You
you're in
already
shock
knew.
because you're trying to convince yourself you were in shock, but you weren't.
Right. And then I like how Jackson did the whole Google search thing, where he started with the ones in the morning, and she's like, yeah, the defendant told me to search those. And then he scrolls up. He's like, well, why'd you do it at 2:27 a.m.?
Yes.
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
So the software is
that.
wrong. Okay.
Yeah. And why'd you delete these phone calls? I didn't delete anything on my phone.
Right.
I don't know how to do that. How long have you had an iPhone for?
Exactly. Exactly.
You know?
Hence my shirt.
Yeah. It's ridiculously... like, listening to these people is, like, making me stupider.
Me too.
You know?
I'm insulted.
Me too.
You know?
It's so painful. It is so painful.
Then you get, like, the doctors up there, and you got Lally, like, so how long did you go to school for?
Oh my God.
What was the weather
What?
like in 1992 when you started second grade?
What year did you graduate from medical school?
When did you
When
lose
did it-
your virginity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did it take you 8 years to get a medical license? I don't understand.
When did you get your period?
Yeah. Yeah.
What, if anything, did you observe when you got the period?
Oh my God, and that ER doctor was so painful to listen to.
Oh.
Lally versus Lally, as Turtle Boy says.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. That's funny. And then he was like, I love it when Liza was like, so did anyone ever relate to you, and did you ever relate to anyone that one of the EMTs said that John may have been hit by a car? And he said, and he didn't remember anything except for that, because clearly he was coached. And he was like, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I put that in my report. Yeah, I remember that. So she's like, will it refresh your memory if I give you the report? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, well, will it refresh your memory if I give you the report? And she was kind of laughing. He goes, well, I guess you really want to give me the report. And he was so dumb. I'm like, oh my God, yes, you need to look at the fucking report, dude. So he takes the report, and she's like, so where does it say that John might have been hit by a car? Because that's your report and that's your signature, is it not? And he's like, yes. He's like, oh, it doesn't say it anywhere. She's like, that's it. That's all I have to say. Because he lied. He was coached.
Yeah.
They were all coached. You can tell because they're like, I don't know.
Yes.
And then what? All right, you tell us first what you think about Jen McCain.
Wait, you want me
She
to?
said she was a cunt.
Yes. She is. She reminds me of someone in town that, she's just manipulative, and you can
She
tell.
believes her own lies.
What's
She
that?
believes her own lies.
She does.
To the point where she literally thinks they're true. Oh,
She does.
I
And
can't believe she's trying to spin the whole narrative.
she
And
did.
then when Jackson asked to approach, she said, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Oh
you're
yeah.
not the judge, bitch.
Yeah. She allowed him to approach. Oh my God. Oh my God. She, honest to God, thinks she's the shit. She is so, and she's dumb as fuck.
Yeah. Hey, maybe she is, but I don't judge people, but that was not a good thing.
It was not.
Yeah, you can approach. And then she's like, you could tell when she was getting agitated.
Yes. Yeah. She
And
was.
she was totally cool, calm, and collected with Lally. And then as soon as Jackson got on there, she was like, what?
they all did that. They all did
Yeah, they all did that.
Every single one of them became defensive when the defense cross-examined.
Yes.
And then her husband,
Oh, my
Matt
God.
McCabe,
With.
is an IT guy.
Yep.
And you're going to tell me she didn't delete anything on her phone?
Right. So she can say that she literally didn't delete anything on her phone because her husband did it.
Exactly.
Hey, Holly, maybe I'll butt dial you later and you can butt dial me back.
Yeah.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know. She just was so, you can just, the manipulation's like oozing out of her pores. You can just sense it. It was.
Oh, it's her eyes.
It's her eyes. It is.
She's like, oh, I'm skeleton.
It's true.
Look into my eyes. You're hypnotized by me.
It's true.
Punch in the face.
I thought she was just a pawn in the game.
No.
But now,
She's
no.
a quarterback.
What do you
Nope.
like? What? I guess they're still going to work and stuff. Like, do they still all just go about their lives? Like, what?
Well, Jen McCabe doesn't work.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I guess everybody else does.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And yeah, and you're so right about Carrie Roberts.
Yeah.
I just, when she said shut
mean,
the
she-
fuck up, I was like, what the, who says, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I found in her testimony to be genuine was when she was crying during the dash cam.
Yeah.
Because that they were friends, obviously.
Yeah. Yep. She was,
You know,
she missed
was friends
John.
with John.
Yep.
She was genuine about that. But,
Yeah.
like, how do you have a phone interview with the lead detective at Jen McCabe's house
Right.
at 3 in the afternoon? They're eating dinner supposedly,
Yeah. Right.
and Jen's like, she's telling him everything. Well, you could hear. Well, I didn't know exactly what she was saying because
Right.
they were near the room.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Exactly. I think that all these women, even Jen McCabe, were so jealous of Karen and they were
Oh, yeah.
so happy to see her fry.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
'Cause
all.
it was like a switch, Holly. It was like instant. It's like, oh, John was backed into when someone came up with this theory. Now everybody fucking hates Karen.
Right. And it made them feel good.
Yeah.
It's,
But I thought you were friends, you know?
yeah.
Like even Higgins. Like I thought you were friends with her and you're not gonna stand by her?
Nope. Because he's
You know?
jealous.
Yeah.
He's jealous and his ego's bruised.
Yeah.
And that's
He wanted to get in her fix. That's all he wanted.
on a much.
No, she could have walked up to him naked and he would have been like, put your clothes back on.
What are
I'm
you
still
doing?
you want.
Yeah. 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 You're right.
So I'm sorry. Anybody, like, if, like, leave my husband out of it. But let's say any of my guy friends who met a new girl, they call me at 6 o'clock in the morning and they say, I can't find him. Come get me or whatever. I'll get in the car. I'm going to go find him.
Yeah.
With you. That's fine. Why are we going back to your house? Oh, because maybe he's there hidden?
Right.
If the guy is drunk, he's not going to be hiding behind the goddamn couch.
Right.
He's not going to come home drunk in front of the kids he adopted.
Right.
He's just not going to do that.
Exactly.
And then scream, shut the F up.
Yeah.
You don't do that. I would never, ever in a million goddamn years ever do that to somebody I don't even know.
Exactly. Someone that's distraught looking.
If this chick is dating my friend and she's freaking the F out, I am not going to do that. I would never, ever say, shut the F up
Yes.
to somebody who's distraught like that and sanction them at the same time.
Right.
That's
Right.
just not, it's a girl code. I mean, I don't even know what it is, but I would never, ever do that to anyone.
Because you have empathy. And
Well, because it's my friend, too. Yeah, I'm going to be
Yes.
upset about it, but I'm not going to do it.
right.
Because I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be, like,
You're going to
trying
be
to hold it
just.
together.
Yeah, you're going to be just as upset.
Yeah, you don't do that. And then you've got Karen Reed with these two random chicks that she doesn't know very well,
Yep.
screaming at her to shut the F up the whole time.
Right.
That's going to make her more upset.
Makes it worse.
Exactly.
It's not helping anyone. And it's just, it boils down. Rena and I talk about this all the time, even in Somerset on a much smaller scale. But she looks at like my situation, for example, and my haters, and most of them are women that are a little older than me or some of the same age. But she sees it from the outside that it's like they're all just jealous. It always boils down to jealousy. And I think
Yes.
like Higgins and all these women, even the ones in Aruba, like they all wanted John, all of them, because he's a provider. He was a nice guy. He's a good looking guy. He's a cop. He's well off. He takes care of his niece and nephew, like he's a father figure. Like that's what women want. And I think they all were so jealous of Karen. She's successful, she's pretty, she's petite, she's smart, and she had John and they couldn't have him. And they were all like basking in their glory that she got arraigned.
Well, women like to go after other women. We all know that.
I didn't hear
We've
that
all been
last
a
part.
victim of that. I said we all know that because I think women like to go after other women,
Yep.
and like I see all these like things on Facebook like build a woman up stronger. As a woman, which I do. I think I do.
Yeah.
Like, don't be catty.
Right.
And Somerset as a whole, I think, was really horrible for that.
Yes. Yes.
But, I actually found myself being that person. Like, not really that person. I'm just, like, nice to everybody. But if you're not nice to me, I'm not going to be nice to you.
Right. Right.
And that's why I loved that Mary Ann Sullivan's testimony. That was the best one I saw.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I swear? I
Oh
don't
yeah.
wanna
Oh
swear.
yeah. Say whatever you want.
She basically said, I met Karen Reed. She told me to go fuck myself. So I told her to go fuck herself.
Yeah.
And that's all she had to say. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
She's the most honest one.
Right.
She was just awesome. I love that woman.
She was
I do.
funny,
I love
yeah.
that woman.
Yeah.
She had nothing to hide.
Right. She didn't.
I
And
do not think that John O'Keefe like made out with her or anything like that. She was like, this is it.
yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And then they're like, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah. You
Like, what is the prosecution trying to do with that? I don't get it.
they're trying to make Karen look like a crazy person, but
Like a slut, yeah.
yeah, she was just a normal.
And they had problems and all that stuff.
Yep.
Where's the proof and where's the proof and where's the motive?
Right. None.
Complete waste of time.
Right. And like it's just a lot of wasted hot air.
I don't know. I've been married for like 100 years. And if I'm going to kill my husband, I'm not going to do it on a cop lawn. No motive, baby. I'm not going to kill you. But I'm not going to kill him. Obviously, I'm not going to kill him anyway. And that's the last place I'm going to do it. If she was that pissed off, she would have killed him in a river. Oh,
Exactly.
let's go scuba diving and like screw up his tank or something. I don't know.
Exactly. It does not make it just doesn't add up.
And like I said, I am actually offended that they think that the Massachusetts taxpayers actually think that I'm going to buy it.
Right. Right. And that's, I think, one of the big reasons why I'm so attached to this case now is because I see so many parallels in like the political world in Somerset and the whole region and the whole state. I mean, what I've seen and experienced is like crazy. And so now, I'm seeing this and I'm thinking about the other person I was talking about that his name will not be mentioned, but like he literally like brags about getting away with X, Y, and Z, and it's so wrong. It's just, I'm not talking about murder, but like some bad shit, like just bad people shit. And
This is the guy from Harry Potter.
from Harry Potter?
Yeah, this is the guy from Harry Potter.
No.
I'm making a joke.
I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't know the reference, but we'll have to talk about it offline.
It's like the guy who shall not be named kind of thing. That's all. That's where I got it from.
Wait, say, I didn't hear that part.
He who shall not be named. It's what they call Voldemort.
Voldemort.
Oh. I'm so clueless.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my god. I love it, you guys. Do you know
What else do I have to add?
when
You made a good point today too, about that doorknob downstairs. Like, how did they get that blood DNA?
From the fence.
Right.
Well, I thought,
They got it from the fence.
but they're not going to let that be told in court. And whose blood is it?
Yeah, I just don't get that. I don't get why they can't. It's bizarre. It's
Exactly, which leads me back to my stupid, drunken theory that what if Colonel Keith is still alive?
Yeah. Hey, stranger things have happened, and like Rena said, truth is always stranger than fiction. So
Yeah,
You
Rain is right.
you never know. And you never know. And we may never know. Like, we may never find. Can you imagine if John, like, came back from the dead and was like, all right, this is what happened, everybody? Like,
Yeah.
It's got to be so hard to not know. And, like, how do they get closure? Like, it's just. Well, I remember Karen going into the courthouse one day and the news cameras, like, they stopped her and she spoke for the first time and she said, we know exactly who did it and we have marshaled all of our resources. And that's all she said. So they have to know. I think they know who did it. So I just can't wait to see when the defense starts to argue their case, which I don't know when that will be because I've heard there's so many more witnesses left.
I thought it was like my birthday.
What do you know when it starts again next week?
Tuesday.
John thinks Tuesday, but I'm not sure. I think it's Monday.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Oh, I think Dan is saying Tuesday.
We should have a watch party, I'm telling you.
We should what?
Have a watch party.
Yes. We should.
Well, any of your followers, if they want to, like, come over, we could probably, like, do it on the projector that I haven't put up yet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I haven't figured out how to do it yet. But if I figure it out by then,
Yeah.
nobody can watch all day, though.
Well, it's something to look forward to.
Well, yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know. And, I know the tow truck driver told me there was no damage to her car. And how was all of the footage missing?
How is the what?
The footage from the
Right.
library. And John wants to pipe in here with the Sally Port. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've done my own investigating about Sally Ports.
Yeah.
He has. He really has.
Okay. Now, if you remember correctly, I think it was Officer Sarif, I'm not sure,
Yeah.
or maybe another officer. They were saying that the Sally Port cameras were motion activated.
Yes.
Okay. Not one single Sally Port in our area is motion activated. They are 24/7 surveillance.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to give you a reason why.
That makes sense.
Because when they have a prisoner in their car and they pull into the Sally Port is so that they can lock up their weapons, so that the person that they have in custody cannot try to take their weapons from them when they're walking them in. That's the point of a Sally Port.
That makes sense. It's a protective like not a garage, but like so you can't get out.
Opposite, basically.
Yeah.
And so for them to say, oh yeah, it's motion activated. Okay, so why did it take 30 minutes to come back on
There's
if the car was there?
it's bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Someone deleted that shit. And then
Yes.
the guy that does the security for the library,
Yes.
remember when he gets handed the CDs like this on mine?
Yeah.
think
Oh,
that's
yeah, that's a good one.
That was epic.
Oh, I saw that.
That was epic right there.
Yes. He's like,
know,
this is not
because
mine. And Lally didn't know what
Now
to
you
say.
know. So now the jury is thinking, oh, someone fucked with that. Someone messed with that.
Yes.
Someone deleted that footage.
Exactly. And Lally got all nervous. He was like, "Oh, well, not that particular CD, but do you know what's on it?" It's like, no.
It's for anything. It's for anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
And you know what? You're right about the Sally port. I didn't even think about that. The camera. The other thing is, the Dan and I were talking about today is that the Sally, because we were talking about the word Sally and where it comes from, because I was trying to understand it, and that's it. It's not a cut through. It's like
No.
a very secure area that you don't go into.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I go in and out of there all the time." You don't go in and out of there all the time. Like you, what? Do you think we're stupid?
That's them having private meetings, because I'm sure there's no footage of him in there.
Footage, let me go on that one.
Yeah.
Holly, are we monitored on time right now?
Oh, you're good.
All right, so here's another thing. This gets me every single goddamn time. The car was towed at a certain time, and the records indicate it was towed an hour later. So they had 1 hour with that car unaccounted for.
Oh my God.
And then when they questioned it, they said, "Oh, daylight savings in goddamn February, the end of January."
Come on.
Are you? Yeah, that's true. It's fact. Oh no, daylight savings time. It didn't update.
Oh, come on.
Anything connected to the internet automatically updates.
So they had 1 hour with that car unaccounted for in the Sally port, and then suddenly, within 6 hours, they found all that taillight. Because
Yes.
taillight floats. Taillight will just come to the surface. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
It just floats up to the top. Being facetious.
Oh. Well, and the tow driver. So Jeff Leary interviewed the tow driver, and the tow driver said he would have, if there was damage when the car was at her parents' in Dighton when it was towed, he would have taken pictures before he towed it to be sure he noted the damage so that he could prove that it wasn't made by him towing it. And he
Right.
said there was no damage.
He's a personal friend of ours.
No way.
Yeah. And he told us the same.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Like, a very good friend of the family, yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah, there's no way, dude.
No way. No.
Told you to do this last year.
I know. And you know what's funny? I remember you said that, and then I totally forgot. Like, I forgot what it was. I just forgot. But I remember when you told me, I was like, wow, that sounds really cool. Like, I do that all the time. Like, people tell me a good movie or a good show, and I'm like, oh, I need to see that. And then I'll totally forget like an idiot. And now you're like, that's what I was trying to tell you. And I'm pissed that I didn't just start watching right then, because I would have been watching the whole time.
You and I got no sleep.
I know. Obsessed.
So, you know that they took the information computer out of her car, right?
Yeah. Is that like a black box or something?
Honestly, me personally, I've never heard of a black box on a car before.
Me neither.
Okay. But what I do know about cars is if something happens where any kind of light comes on the dashboard, there's what you call freeze frame data,
Okay.
because it will give you the conditions of, RPMs of the car, temperature of the engine. They give you all kinds of statistics of the engine of when the code was set for whatever it may be.
Okay.
So they're trying to say that she backed up, 60-something feet at 20-something miles an hour?
No way.
This is what they're saying, okay?
Yeah.
Now you got to remember, it's slippery outside,
Yep.
and you have traction control,
Yeah.
okay? So if she shut her traction control off, put it in reverse,
Still couldn't do it.
and punched it, the tires are just going to spin.
Right.
But it's still going to log mileage.
Right.
Okay, everybody on the planet has seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? Okay, they take the Ferrari out, they put mileage on it, they bring it back, they put it in reverse, and guess what? The mileage is still going up.
Right?
You can't backtrack mileage. So their theory, that information, boom, take it right out. Like, because it makes no sense. You can't use
Oh.
it. You cannot use it.
Oh, I see.
You know?
I
And they're
see.
trying to say, I don't know if you saw, did you see the picture of the car when they went to go see the car?
Yeah.
When they staged it all at 34
Yeah.
Fairview, they had the center console out.
Yeah, and they said pay attention to it. Like, what are they? Why?
All right, so I think they took that out because they think they can get information off the backup camera. Because the car has a backup camera.
Yeah.
And that car being a Lexus,
Yeah.
if there's anything behind you, you're not going to hit it because the car's going to automatically stop.
It will.
Right.
My car does that too. It scared me the first time it did it. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, it's stopping because
most-
there's something behind me.
Yeah, most cars do that now.
Yeah,
a
it's
safety
incredible. It's incredible.
feature. So, and it, Lexus and I think other high-end brands like BMW and Mercedes, they all have that option.
Yeah. Yep.
Back then, anyway.
Yep.
As a highly educated individual, I don't use the backup camera. I use the regular ways to back the car up that I was like taught in driver's ed.
Me too.
And
Yeah.
Karen, being about the same age as we are, I don't think she would use the goddamn backup camera to deliberately back over her boyfriend.
In a snowstorm.
And she had no access to that ring camera at all.
Yeah, you're right. And when
And
you
the kids testified to it.
what? Say that again.
The
I
kids,
said the kids testified to the fact she had no access to that.
The other thing
the
is
camera.
that if you have you tried to back up 24 miles an hour and 60 some feet, you can't do it.
No.
no, you can't do that.
There's no, and I think it was Turtle Boy that tried to do that on a normal nice day on the normal road without snow, and he couldn't do it. He got up to like
No.
19.
Yeah.
I will not call myself a turtle rider, but I am a Turtle Boy supporter.
Yes.
To make that clear.
Yeah, yeah, same here. I got this shirt from him, from his
I
website.
know. I haven't even gotten this shirt yet.
I told Lori that we should both get shirts and wear them to work.
Yes.
Well, what about my buddy Kenny?
Yeah, whatever. He'll get over it. He'll get over it.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad you guys called.
Yeah,
Let's do it again. We're going to do it again.
we will.
I'm going to hit the hay.
All right.
That was great. So whenever we can do it again, I'll probably.
I feel like I have to talk about.
What's that?
I feel like if someone else
Save it
wants
for-
to bring up.
Save it for the next show.
All right.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, well, I'll probably do the next show like after, or the next live after the next trial day. But don't worry about calling and staying on the phone. Like, I can always conference whoever else is calling in, and so you can stay on the phone and stay in the conversation if you want.
Oh, nobody else wanted to conference with us?
What's that?
That's okay.
Nobody wanted to like call in and conference with us?
Yeah, we can. I can conference you in.
That's
I
cool.
know. They should call up. They should call.
Yeah,
No.
We've been doing this for a while.
I love it. It's awesome.
Cool. All right, Holly. It's been fun.
It's been fun, you guys. Thanks for calling.
We'll call again.
Okay, good night.
All right.
Good night.
Night.
All right. I'm not good with the phone. This is a different kind of phone. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys. I'm going to hit the hay, but that was so much fun. It ended up being a great live, and thanks for hanging out. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.